Okay, so today we'll go with the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. And as I've told you earlier, I've recorded, okay, as I told you earlier, these properties are very, very important, okay. The properties, whatever we discussed today, are very, very important properties, okay. So please pay attention to the properties. In case if you have any doubt, please put it in the chat box, okay. Fine, students. So we'll start the first property. Okay, so this is the first property. There are three sets. You can see under the first property, you have uh, three sub properties, which means under other artha ಏನಂದ್ರೆ if you can solve, if you can prove the first property, similarly it follows for the other two also. So what does the first property says? What does the first property says? That is, it talks about the reciprocal of inverse trigonometric functions. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, what is the reciprocal of sine function? Sine function is the reciprocal ಏನು? We used to write it as 1 by cosecant x, correct? We know the reciprocal of the direct functions, correct? The reciprocal of sine function is cosecant function. What is the reciprocal of cos function? What is the reciprocal of cos function, students? It is secant. What is the reciprocal of tan? What is the reciprocal of tan? Tan is cot. Good. Good. So you know the reciprocal of direct functions. Similar to the reciprocal of direct function, even inverse function also has the reciprocals. Aita inverse function kuda reciprocal anno it has reciprocal. So what kind of reciprocals we have? Hegirtade aa reciprocal anta we'll check today. Okay. So you can see when we talk about the direct function, okay, when we talk about the direct function, we write the reciprocal in the form sin x anta hediದ್ರೆ ಅದರ reciprocal 1 by cosecant x anta ಬರೀತೇವೆ. But here when you are talking about the reciprocal of the inverse functions, okay, when you are talking about the reciprocal of inverse function, reciprocal ಈ inverse ಗೆ ಬರುವುದಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಮಿಡ್ಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ sin inverse of anta ಬರೀತೀವಲ್ಲ, for that we write the reciprocal. So sin inverse of 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse x. Okay. Sin inverse of 1 by x is always cosecant inverse x. This is nothing but CSC is cosecant inverse x. Okay. Sin inverse of 1 by x is cosecant inverse x. Now you have to prove this property. How you will prove this property? So what you have to take? So prove. So this is the left hand side. Okay, this is LHS. Sin inverse 1 by x is the LHS and cosecant inverse x is the RHS. So what I'll do, let y is equal to cosecant inverse x. I'll take y is equal to cosecant inverse x. Okay, now what I have to prove? Y is equal to sin inverse 1 by x, correct? ನಾನೇನ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ y is equal to cosecant inverse x ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. To prove this property, what I have to show, y is also equal to sin inverse 1 by x. So now from this y is equal to cosecant inverse x, can I write cosecant y is equal to x? Can I write cosecant y is equal to x, students? What I have done, I have applied cosecant on the both the sides, correct? I have applied cosecant both the sides. So what happens? Y hatra cosecant ಹಾಕಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ cosecant y ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ cosecant of cosecant inverse x is always x. Okay. Hereafter I won't write that step, that is cosecant y is equal to cosecant of cosecant inverse x. In the next step it is cosecant y is equal to x. Okay. So directly now, since we know the things, we can write it directly. Okay. So cosecant y is equal to x. Now I need 1 by x, correct? ನನಗೆ sin inverse of 1 by x ಬೇಕು, but I have x, correct? I need 1 by x, but I have x. So what I can do, I'll take reciprocal on both the sides. Reciprocal on both the sides. I'll take reciprocal on both the sides. So what happens? Reciprocal andre cosecant iddu reciprocal 1 by cosecant y and x is reciprocal 1 by x. Okay, I'm taking reciprocals on both the sides. So cosecant y becomes 1 by cosecant y, x becomes 1 by x. Now, what is 1 by cosecant y? What is 1 by cosecant y, students? What is 1 by cosecant y? It is sin y. Good. It is sin y. So sin y is equal to 1 by x. Okay, sin y is equal to 1 by x. I need the value of y. I need at the end value of y. So what I can do? I should apply sine inverse both the sides. Correct? I have to apply sine inverse both the sides. So what happens? Sine inverse of sine y is equal to sine inverse 1 by x. But what is y? What is y? Y was cosecant inverse x. So we have proved cosecant inverse x is equal to sine inverse 1 by x. Okay. Hope this was clear. Sine inverse ಎರಡು ಕಡೆ apply ಮಾಡಿದೆ. So sine inverse of sine y is y, that is equal to sine inverse 1 by x. But why? We had taken y as cosecant inverse x. I have replaced it. I have resubstituted it. So cosecant inverse x is equal to sine inverse 1 by x. Okay. And remember, this is true. It yavaga true agate if the value of the x is greater than or equal to 1, or it is less than or equal to -1. Only then this property holds. Okay, only then this property holds. So since now you know how to prove the first one, now can we go for the second one? You want to try the second one? You want to try the second one, students? So what I have to do in the beginning? What I have to give? Let y is equal to, what I have to start with? For the second one, what I have to start with? Let y is equal to, what I have to start with, left hand side or right hand side? Y is equal to secant inverse x, correct? Y is equal to secant inverse x, that is RHS. Yes, you have to take the RHS as y. Then I can write this as secant y is equal to x. Secant y is equal to x. What is the next step? What is the next step? Secant reciprocal on the both sides. So it is 1 by secant y is equal to 1 by x. Good, Simran. So, but what is 1 by secant y? What is 1 by secant y? 1 by secant y is cos y. Good, Nitya Lakshmi. Good, Dekshita. Cos y is equal to 1 by x. So then what I have to do? Apply cos inverse. So that will give me y is equal to cos inverse 1 by x. But what is y? Y is secant inverse x is equal to cos inverse 1 by x. Isn't it is easy? You've understood, right? You have understood, right? Okay. So take the third one, that is to prove tan inverse 1 by x is equal to cot inverse x as homework. Same thing you have to do. Let y is equal to cot inverse x. Then you take it to the other side, take the reciprocal and follow the same procedure. You can do this, right? Okay. So take the third sub question as homework. Okay. We'll move on to the next question, next property. So this was the first property regarding the reciprocal. Sine inverse of 1 by x is cosecant inverse x. Similarly, cos inverse 1 by x is secant inverse x. Tan inverse 1 by x is cot inverse x. Now coming to the next property. This is your next property. That is sine inverse of minus x is minus sine inverse x. Sine inverse of minus x is minus sine inverse x. So this is your next property. So this is similar to your direct function also. Sine of minus x andre enta? What is sine of minus x? What is sine of minus x? What is sine of minus x, students? Minus sine x. Good. Sine of minus x is minus sine x. What is cos of minus x? What is cos of minus x? What is cos of minus x? Is cos x. Okay. How can I write minus cos x? Minus cos x. How can I write minus cos x? How can I write minus cos x? Minus cos x. Cos pi minus x. Correct? Cos pi minus x. Not cos 90 minus x. Cos 90 minus x becomes sine. Okay? It goes for this corresponding angle. So cos pi minus x is minus cos x. So you remember these things. Similar thing works for the inverse trigonometric function as well. Okay, similar thing works for inverse trigonometric function as well. Okay, so that is sine inverse of minus x. The same thing we'll do. We'll solve the first two, and the third one is homework. Sine inverse of minus x is minus sine inverse x. Tan inverse of minus x is minus tan inverse x. Cosecant inverse of minus x is minus cosecant inverse x. You can see the similarity. Even the range of or principal value branch of sine inverse, tan inverse and cosecant inverse had similarities. To remember, you can take these three as fixed. Sine inverse, tan inverse, cosecant inverse has similar kind of properties. So we have to prove sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. So we have to prove sine inverse of minus x is minus sine inverse x. So what we'll do? So the first step is let y is equal to sine inverse of minus x. Take the left hand side. Okay, let y is equal to sine inverse of minus x. Then can I write sine y is equal to minus x? Sine y is equal to minus x. I have taken y is equal to sine. You can't hear. Am I audible to you, students? Am I audible to you, students? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Then Subramania, you please check your network. Okay. Okay. So sine y, let y is equal to sine inverse of minus x. That is the left hand side. Then I can write sine y is equal to minus x. You agree for this? You people agree for this? Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. So now what I'll do is I'll take this minus sign to this side. Okay, I want it to be minus of sine inverse x. X in a jote nanige negative value beta. So what I'll do, I'll take this minus here. So this is multiplied by minus 1. So when I take it to the other side, it is divided by minus 1. However, it is minus sine y is equal to x. Minus sine y is equal to x. Okay. ಇದು ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ minus 2 is equal to 3 ಅಂತ ಇತ್ತು. ನನಗೆ 2 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ minus 2 is equal to x ಅಂತ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾನು 2 is equal to minus x ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬಹುದಲ್ವಾ? So I can take this minus 1 to this side. It becomes division. X divided by minus 1 is minus x. Okay. So the same thing I have applied. So I have minus sine y is equal to x. But we know that sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Correct? Sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. So I have minus sine y. So I can write this as sine of minus y. Correct? I can write this as sine of minus y is equal to x. Now I'll apply sine inverse both the sides. So what happens? Sine inverse of sine of minus y is equal to sine inverse x. Okay, sine inverse of sine of minus y is equal to sine inverse x. So what happens? Minus y is equal to sine inverse x. So what happens? Minus y is equal to sine inverse x. Okay. So y, I need the value of y. So y is nothing but minus of sine inverse x. Correct? Y is equal to minus of sine inverse x. But what was y? I had taken y as y is equal to sine inverse minus x, and I have proved it is equal to minus sine inverse x. So this is the proof. I'll repeat the proof again. So what we have to take, let y is equal to sine inverse of minus x, and then sine y, I can write this as sine y is equal to minus x. Then I have taken this minus symbol to this side. Okay, I have taken this minus symbol to this side. So that gives me minus sine y is equal to x. But we know sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Here I have minus sine y. So I can, by using this, I can write it in the form sine of minus y is equal to x. Okay, I need the value of y. So what I have done, I have taken sine inverse both the sides. But we know sine inverse of sine x is always x. Here in place of x, we have minus y. So minus y is equal to sine inverse x. But I need the value of y. So I'll divide by minus 1. So what happens? Y is equal to minus sine inverse x. But what was y? Y was sine inverse of minus x, and that is equal to minus sine inverse x. Did you understand this, students? Have you understood this property? Yes. We'll do one more so that if you have any doubt, it will be clear. Okay, we'll do one more. And the third one is homework for you. Okay. So, the second property, that is you have to prove tan inverse of minus x is equal to minus tan inverse x. Those who have understood, you can start. Those who have doubt in some of the steps, you wait for me. So what we have to do, let y is equal to tan inverse of, okay, let y is equal to tan inverse, let y is equal to tan inverse of minus x. Okay, let y is equal to tan inverse of minus x. So what happens? Tan y is equal to x. So tan y is equal to x. Then, so not x, minus x. Okay, that implies minus tan y is equal to x. But we know that tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. So that implies, correct, tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. So this I can write it as tan of minus y is equal to x. I have applied tan of minus theta is minus tan theta. Then I'll apply tan inverse both the sides. So it is tan inverse of tan of minus y is equal to x. Oh, sorry, tan inverse x. So that is minus y is equal to tan inverse x, or y is equal to minus tan inverse x. But what was y? Y was tan inverse of minus x. Hence we have proved this property. Okay. Okay, those who have got the answer, good. So you can try the third one as homework question. Okay, fine. So we'll move. This property was of you have understood this property, right? You can remember this property with the similar trick, that is sine, tan, and cosecant always has the same kind of property. It has same range also, that is principal value branch also. There is some similarity with the properties as well as the principal value branch. Okay. So we'll move on to the next property. So the next property is regarding cos inverse of minus x. So cos inverse of minus x is always pi minus cos inverse x. So yesterday we had done certain problems where we had negative terms. Cos inverse of minus half anta ididre what you used to do, adan y anta ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ, minus ಅನ್ನು ignore ಮಾಡಿ ಬರೀ cos ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ, ಆಮೇಲೆ cos of pi minus x formula ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಿ. At the end you used to get some answer. So now instead of doing all this procedure, since you know the property, what is the property? Cos inverse of some negative value idre, negative real number idre, that is in the interval minus 1 comma 1 idre, you can directly write it as pi minus cos inverse x. That is, if you have cos inverse minus half, you can write it as pi minus cos inverse half. You know how to find cos inverse half? Cos inverse half id value ಏನು ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. So cos inverse half is pi by 3. So you'll get 2 pi by 3. So easy. That's why we are using the properties. Properties are used to simplify your work. Okay. So cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse x. Okay. We'll see how to solve this, how to prove this property. Okay, students. So we'll begin. Are you there, students? Are you listening to me? Okay. So can we begin? Okay. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll prove the first two properties. Again, third one is homework for you. Okay, so yeah, proof. What I have to prove? Cos inverse of minus x is pi minus cos inverse x. Again, you have to see these properties are valid only if x belongs to minus 1 comma 1. Okay, these properties are valid only if x belongs to minus 1 comma 1. 1 ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ we cannot use this property. Okay, 1 ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಇದು ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, cos inverse ಡೊಮೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. So this property is useful only if it belongs to minus 1 comma 1, x belongs to. So what we'll do, again take let y is equal to cos inverse of minus x. Take the left hand side as y. Y is equal to cos inverse of minus x. Similar step. So cos y is equal to minus x. Cos y is equal to minus x. What I'll do is I'll take this minus sign to this side. That is divide by minus 1. So what I'll get? Minus cos y is equal to x. Minus cos y is equal to x. But we know the property. What is it? Minus cos x is nothing but cos of pi minus x. Correct? Minus cos x is nothing but cos of pi minus x. So minus cos y, I can write it as cos of pi minus y is equal to x. Correct? I have used this property. Minus cos y is cos of pi minus y is equal to y. Now what I'll do, I'll apply, I need cos inverse x. Nanige cos inverse x anta beku. I have x. So what I'll do, apply cos inverse on the both the sides. So it is cos inverse of pi minus y is equal to cos inverse x. But what is cos inverse of cos x? It is x. So here in place of x we have pi minus y is equal to cos inverse y. I need the value of y. So take y to the other side and cos inverse this side. So minus y, when you take it to the other side, it becomes plus y, and cos inverse x, when you take it to the other side, it becomes minus cos inverse y. So we got pi minus cos inverse y is equal to pi minus cos inverse x is equal to y. But what is y? Y is cos inverse of minus x. So we have proved the property. You have any doubt regarding this property, students? Any doubt? Anything is not clear for you? Any step? Okay, you have no doubt. Still, I'll solve the second one so that if you have some, if you find some step is you did not understand, observe it and then you can ask it in the chat box. Okay, I'll do it once again. Okay, once again, I'll read the steps of this property and again we'll solve with respect to secant inverse x also. Okay, so what I have done, I have taken y is equal to cos inverse minus x. I have taken y is equal to cos inverse of minus x. Then I can write cos y is equal to minus x. Correct? Then I have taken this minus to the other side. So what I got? Minus cos y is equal to x. So minus cos y is equal to x. Okay, but we know that minus cos x can be written as cos of pi minus x. Here in place of x, I have y. So I have replaced it by cos of pi minus y is equal to x. Nanige cos inverse x term begittu. So what I have done, I have applied cos inverse both the sides. So cos inverse of pi minus y is pi minus y is equal to cos inverse x. So I I need the value of y. So y ಅನ್ನು ಆ ಕಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. minus y ಆ ಕಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋದಾಗ plus ಆಯ್ತು. So pi minus cos inverse y is equal to y. But y was cos inverse of minus x. Hence we have proved the property 1. Not out of third we have done. So next, regarding secant inverse x. If you have no doubt, you can solve for secant inverse x. So I have to take secant inverse x is minus x is equal to y. Next step is secant y is equal to minus x. Then I have to write minus secant y is equal to x. Correct? What is the next step? Minus secant y is equal to x. What is the next step? If you cannot hear, students, I think there is some network issues, because with respect to your side, so because others can hear me, please check your internet. Okay, so minus secant y can be written as pi minus secant of pi minus y. Correct? Yes, secant 180 minus y is equal to x. I need secant inverse x. So if I applied secant inverse x, what will I get? Secant inverse of secant of pi minus y is equal to secant inverse x. So pi minus y is equal to secant inverse x, or y is equal to pi minus secant inverse x, which is, what is y? Secant of secant inverse of minus x is pi minus secant inverse x. Pi minus secant inverse x. Everyone got the answer? If you have any doubt, I can find some 51 participants, and I had asked everyone to answer it at least in this session. Correct? And some had said they'll answer from today's session, and I cannot find an answer from those people. Only those who are answering, they are answering. Okay. So third one is a homework. Once again repeat. Okay. So take the left hand side as equal to y. Aita left hand side annu y anta tagolli. Secant y is equal to enaitu minus x ಆಯ್ತು. ಈ minus symbol ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ I have to divide by minus 1. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? minus secant y is equal to x ಆಯ್ತು. But we have the property minus secant of pi minus x ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ minus secant x. Okay, secant of pi minus x ಅಂದ್ರೆ minus secant x. So ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? minus secant y ಇದೆ. So ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಬರಿಬಹುದು? ಈ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು secant of pi minus y is equal to x. I need secant inverse x. So apply secant inverse x both the sides. So you'll get secant inverse of secant pi minus y is equal to secant inverse x. So secant inverse of secant x ಅಂದ್ರೆ x ಇಲ್ಲಿ, but ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ನ ಬದಲು ಏನಿದೆ? pi minus y ಇದೆ. So pi minus y is equal to secant inverse x. Okay, y is equal to pi minus ಈ minus y ಆ ಕಡೆ ತಗೊಂಡೋದೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈ secant inverse x ಈಚೆ ತರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. So y is equal to pi minus secant inverse x. So but y ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Secant inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus secant inverse x. Is it clear, Kirti? Someone with Kirti Ramu. So is it clear for you? Okay, fine. So yeah, this is an easy chapter. That's what I said. Next property. Take the third one as homework. Okay. So similar to the direct trigonometric functions, you had some identity, right? Some identity, that is, what was the identity? Cos square x plus sin square x is equal to 1. 1 plus tan square x is equal to secant square x. All these things you had, correct? You had all these kind of properties, correct? You had the properties of these kind. Similar to the direct function, you have properties for, so that was secant square x, and then 1 plus cot square x is equal to cosecant square x. These were the basic identities in trigonometrics, correct? Basic identity in trigonometry. Similar to that, we have basic identity in inverse trigonometric. That is sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. Observe, illi x should belong to minus 1 comma 1. Okay, here tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is also equal to pi by 2, where x can be any real number, and cosecant inverse x plus secant inverse x is equal to pi by 2. But the condition for x is when you take the mod, it should always be greater than or equal to 1. So how we will prove this? Okay, I'll prove one. You can try the other two because we have less time. So I'll prove one. The rest of the two you can take it as homework. Okay. So what we have to do is I have to prove sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. So what I'll take, let x is equal, or not x, sorry, let y is equal to sine inverse x. Okay, let y is equal to sine inverse x. Then I can write sine y is equal to x, correct? Then I can write sine y is equal to x. Now how to convert sine to cos? How to convert sine to cos? How to convert sine to cos? Sine and cos ಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ convert ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ನಾನು? What can I apply so that sine y becomes cos? Cos of some angle. No, it's not 1 by 1 minus cos x. It's not 1 by cos x. It's not sine of cos x. I can find some 50 people and no one knows the answer for this question. How sine 90 minus x is cos x. I have sine y. Almas, you are almost there. It's sine, it's not sine 90 minus x. So we had the property, correct? Sine y can be written as cos 90 minus y, correct? Sine y can be written as cos 90 minus y, correct? Huh? Cos 90 minus y is Jnanendra has answered yes. Okay. So sine y is cos 90 minus y. Correct? Huh? That is sine y can be written as cos of pi by 2 minus y. So I'll replace. So that is cos of pi by 2 minus y is equal to x. Okay. Cos of pi by 2 minus y is equal to x. I need cos inverse. So if I take cos inverse both the sides, so what I'll get? Cos inverse of pi by 2 minus y is equal to cos inverse x. So pi by 2 minus y is equal to cos inverse x. Okay, keep pi by 2 there, take minus y to the other side. So it is pi by 2 is equal to cos inverse x plus y. But what was y? Y was cos inverse plus sine inverse x. Okay, I think the time is up. You just take this down, students. Take this down quickly. Again, I'll explain this in the next class. Okay. Okay, students, I'll explain this in the next class again. If you have no doubt, you can continue with the other two questions. If you have doubt, don't get worried. I'll explain it again in the next class. Okay. If you have any doubt, keep it. Other two questions you can try. Okay, you can try the other two questions. Similar, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is pi by 2. Secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x is pi by 2. Okay. Okay, students. If you have any doubt, take down the doubt and go through the properties again. If you have any doubt, please